Hello.
Hi, this is Karen with the HOA. How are you today?
Okay.
We just wanted to stop by. We noticed that you painted your house.
Well, it's kind of a basic color.
Yes, but you didn't get permission from the HOA.
So are you concerned about dealing with a Karen like that when you move into your new neighborhood? This is David and Amy Vendor, the Vendor Group. Now we specialize in the South Metro Atlanta area, but we have agents all over the state of Georgia. No matter where in Georgia you want to move, we can help you find that perfect house.
And we are so very sorry if your name is Karen, but we wanted to get the point across because we've all heard those stories that aren't pleasant experiences for people living in an HOA community. And it's exactly those situations that terrify some buyers from purchasing in a community with an HOA. But as anything, there's always those pros and cons, so we wanted to discuss those today.
So first of all, what does HOA stand for? It's Homeowners Association. It's a group of individuals, usually homeowners. Sometimes they hire out some logistics to a company, but they make and enforce rules for the neighborhood.
So 26% of the population actually live in a community with an HOA now.
Which is a lot more than I ever expected.
Now, in 2021 alone, all the new construction that was done across the country, 82.4% of those communities have an HOA. So there's obviously a real trend toward that.
So if you're not living in an HOA community now, there's a good chance you can live in one in the future. Before we begin, let's understand that when you're putting in a contract on a home, you're going to get a bunch of disclosures. Read through those, understand what you're getting into in that neighborhood. If you don't like what you see, maybe that's not the neighborhood for you. Now, we have seen some beautiful high-end neighborhoods where just one house can bring down the value of the entire neighborhood.
So that leads us to pro number one, which is it helps to maintain your property values. HOAs have covenants, restrictions, and as Dave mentioned, you're going to get those. If those are not handed to you by your realtor at the very beginning, you need to ask for those. Make sure you read through those, see what the expectations are. But because you have a certain accountability as a homeowner in an HOA, there tends to be a continuity.
So usually the restrictions are you've got to maintain your yard to a certain level, you've got to maintain the exterior of your home to a certain level, you're not allowed to leave things in the yard like trailers and campers and whatnot.
And that tends to increase the property value. Did you know that 5 to 6% more is what homeowners in an HOA community typically see than those that have similar homes outside of an HOA?
If I can get 6% more for my house, I might be willing to deal with a Karen. So the second pro is amenities. Most neighborhoods that have a homeowner association have some nice amenities. They usually have a pool, tennis courts, a clubhouse, and the great thing about that is, yeah, you have to pay a bill at the beginning of the year, but you don't worry about the chemicals, you don't worry about taking care of the entrance to the neighborhood. You go and enjoy the amenities and go home.
And that leads us to pro number 3, which is more social activities. So a community with an HOA, with all of those amenities that we just talked about, tends to have more social activities, and that fosters a sense of community for the neighborhood.
So if you move in from out of state and you don't know anybody, it's a lot easier for your kids to make friends, and a lot easier for you to fit into the neighborhood faster.
It can make it really nice.
So the fourth pro is the Architectural Control Committee.
Or the ACC.
Or the ACC. So if you want to add a garage or add an extra bedroom or change the color of your house, you have to get them to approve it. Now, how is that a pro? Well, it keeps continuity in the neighborhood where you're not having a house that sticks out different.
So your neighbor may not be able to paint the house their favorite color like purple. So lastly, and number 5 is well-maintained common areas and amenities. So we've talked about all the amenities, and it's going to vary from community to community how many amenities you have, but an HOA controlled community is going to have somebody that's taking care of those areas for you. So your entrances, if there's a grassy area or green space, they take care of that.
And usually in the spring they plant flowers, and it just really does make it cheerful when you come home to your neighborhood.
Yeah, and they have somebody that's cleaning the bathrooms by the pool and making sure that the trash is taken care of and picked up.
So HOAs do have their cons. 87% of property management companies say they're going to be increasing their charges this year, and it does cost a decent amount of money to pay those management companies to take care of all that stuff. And those costs going up year after year can be a pretty big negative.
It can get expensive, and depending on the size of the neighborhood, if it's a smaller neighborhood with an HOA, it may cost a little bit more because you have less homeowners paying into that HOA.
Yeah, you spread that cost over 500 homes, it's not too bad. You spread that cost over 50 homes, it can be significant.
So number 2 on the list was also on our pros, and it's the Architectural Control Committee, the ACC. So this is a pro for some and a major con for others. So if you're the type of individual that wants
This is my house, I want to build a garage on my house, I'm going to build it the way I want to build it. And I do feel that way a lot of times, trust me.
and you want to put yard art out, or you want to paint your front door bright orange.
It's your house, you feel like you should be able to do that. And somebody comes by with a little note going, you can't do that?
And that's going to happen if you live in an HOA community. So that's why we said make sure you get those covenants and restrictions and you know what you're buying into. If you're the type of person and you know without looking at any covenants and restrictions of an HOA that you don't want that, you don't want to be held to that, don't buy in an HOA community.
Tell your agent right away. We have several clients say there's no way we want an HOA, and when we're helping them find homes, we'll make sure all those gets tossed out and we don't even look at them.
Yeah, they know ahead of time. They don't want to be held to that.
The third negative is you have to follow the rules. You might have to take care of weeds in your yard. You might not be able to stay at the neighborhood pool past 10 o'clock at night.
And you may want 4 cats and a dog.
There are a lot of associations that control all those aspects of your life. And if you don't like that, Home Association is not for you.
And the last con is that the HOA could be poorly managed.
We have seen that in several neighborhoods. We really have.
We have. Some may have an architectural committee, some may not, but some may have a poor management company running it too. We've seen that.
And it seems that the ones that are poor management companies charge more than the good management companies.
And you can't always change that. But if you're in a neighborhood that is poorly managed, sometimes the maintenance is not taken care of that they said they would take care of.
You look at the pool and it's green.
Yes, I mean, there's all kinds of issues, so you want to be careful, make sure, and one of the things that we talk about, and we do this with a lot of our buyers, they ask us about certain neighborhoods, HOA or no HOA, we may or may not know certain things, and because of fair housing laws, we can only say so much. So get out, walk the neighborhoods. If you see people out, ask questions. Ask them how they like the HOA. Ask them how they like the neighborhood. We've had plenty of people do that, even without our prompting, and they get some really insightful answers.
So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we love sharing this great information with y'all.
So if you're moving here in a week or a year, we don't care. Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. You can get our information below, email, text, or call us.